Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us to learn more about our digital marketing certificate. My name is Christine Stoller and I will be facilitating today's program preview. So hopefully everyone's audio is working and you're able to hear me now that the session has started. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box and I'll respond to these during the question and answer period toward the end of the session. And just a note before we get started, the session is being recorded so we can make it available to others who are not able to attend today. As well, if you need to leave the session at any point, the recorded version will be posted to our program website for later access. Let's begin. The agenda for today's preview is as follows. I'll talk a little bit about the Center for Continuing Education at McMaster, provide an overview of the digital marketing program, its goals, and course listings. We'll talk briefly about the program's intended audience, as well as some of the features and benefits of taking the digital marketing certificate online. We'll also touch on the online structure. I'll review admission requirements, and towards the end of the presentation, you'll have a chance to hear from a guest speaker and see our course schedule. We'll also leave time for questions and answers before the session ends. McMaster University is located in Hamilton, Ontario, about an hour from Toronto. We are proud to be ranked within the top 100 universities in the world. Our current student enrollment is about 24,000 students per year. The Center for Continuing Education is a long-standing department of the university. Currently, we offer a range of academic certificates and diplomas in business management, communications, health and social services, as well as corporate training. Our academic programs are taught at an undergraduate level and are all approved through the same process as the university degrees. And we're pleased to welcome over 4,000 students a year through continuing education. Now that you know a little bit more about what we do at CCE, we'll dive into the specifics about the digital marketing program. The certificate consists of 5 courses. Each course is delivered fully online and will last for 12 weeks, which is a standard academic term. Each of these courses is equal to a 3-unit undergrad course at McMaster. You may take one course at a time or multiple courses depending on your learning goals and availability. Here are the 5 courses for the program. Course 1 is a foundational course for the program and is the prerequisite course for all subsequent ones. We strongly encourage students to take this first or within their first term of studies, as it introduces a number of concepts that will be expanded upon in later courses. While many concepts in digital marketing will build on each other, students are not required to take courses in any specific order, and they're welcome to take multiple classes per term. For each program at CCE, we establish a set of learning outcomes that serve as a guide for all of the courses in the program. For the digital marketing certificate, the intent is to provide you with the educational and professional development opportunities to enhance your pre-existing knowledge and skill set required for the industry and related sectors. These are the overarching program outcomes listed on the screen. Each course also has respective learning outcomes that align with the overall program objectives. The course assessments and activities are intended so that you achieve program success. So is this program for you? The digital marketing program is designed to attract students with interest in marketing, business communications, public relations, web design and analytics, etc., who are seeking further education to be able to effectively apply digital strategy. This is not an exhaustive list, as we foresee people in other fields and careers being interested in learning about digital marketing strategy, especially if you're an independent contractor or a small business owner or manage a marketing department. From a professional development standpoint, there's a lot of potential for you to learn from each other in the program based on the professional and academic backgrounds and experiences of both students and instructors. Features and benefits. The benefits of part-time studies at continuing education involves your ability to complete an academic program while you continue to work and meet your personal and professional demands. We want to encourage as many students from across Canada to participate in the digital marketing program, to share their perspectives with fellow learners, and for you to begin to build a network of colleagues. Learning format. The Digital Marketing Online Certificate is designed for you to complete on your own time for each weekly module. Modules may contain required readings and case studies, video content, digitized presentations, and game simulations. There will be individual and group work activities, and course assignments will reflect the type of projects you may be given in a real-world work environment. For online courses, we advise students to expect to dedicate about 5 to 7 hours per week per course to cover time for readings, discussions, videos, and to complete any assignment. The course is asynchronous, meaning you don't have to log on at a specific time of day. You are able to complete the required activities on your own schedule. The Digital Marketing Certificate is an open enrollment program. It means there's no formal application to begin your studies in digital marketing. As this is an academic program at McMaster, we must comply with the certificate and diploma admission policy from Undergraduate Council for students who wish to enter the program. These requirements are listed on this slide. And if you have any questions regarding your status, please contact us directly to discuss your options. In order to ensure that students have the basic capabilities necessary to be successful in the program's academic courses, we suggest that you have the following prerequisite knowledge and/or skills. As this is an advanced specialized program, we do expect that students come with prior marketing knowledge and/or direct experience working in the field. This could include either a degree or diploma in marketing and/or at least 3 years of marketing, communications, or web design experience. For those with little or no related marketing background, please contact us for a personal consult. Our program instructors are industry professionals currently working in a variety of digital marketing, business, and related roles. These professionals have the theoretical knowledge, but also understand and are familiar with the specific skills that are required to thrive in the industry. This allows them to create exercises and assignments that focus on the application and synthesis of what you learn in each course into a practical situation that you may encounter in the workplace. As well, they are excellent career resources for you as you work through the program. At CCE, we also maintain strong partnerships with many local industry experts as they bring insight and perspective to our program planning and course development. Today, we're going to feature a podcast interview we had with Josiah Shelley to discuss why data measurement is essential to your digital strategy. Josiah's current role is Head of Growth at Reach Digital, a company focused on enabling growth for clients through digital strategy and data-driven execution. He has a strong commitment to academics and the promotion of continuous learning through course development and part-time teaching at Sheridan College, as well as here at CCE in our digital marketing program.
Okay, Josiah, so I've just shared a little bit about your academic and entrepreneurial background. Can you dive a little bit deeper into what you do at Reach Digital?
Yeah, for sure. So at Reach, sort of our mantra is that we enable growth for clients, and we do that online. So we will put together a digital strategy and actually execute on campaigns for clients that help them grow. Now, a lot of clients really care about getting more calls to their business or into their call center, driving more sales online, or really just getting leads, people to fill out their contact us form and to submit sort of a request for service. So that's what really growth means to a lot of our clients. And we really start from ground zero with that strategy and then build out sort of the execution to pull that off. And so that's really what we do at Reach. We enable growth for our clients. And my role in particular is more leading the team. So I deal a lot on the strategy side, a lot on the data and analytics side, and also focusing more on leadership and how do we ensure that in a fast-moving sort of industry that we're staying ahead of the curve, because ultimately clients hire us to be on top of all the trends. So that's really what I do at Reach and sort of what Reach does as a whole.
Awesome. So we're always hearing about how measuring your data is essential to campaign success. With so much data out there, how does analytics play into your digital strategy?
Yeah, it's a great question. I really think that analytics, and based on my experience, measurement is one of the key enablers to success in a digital strategy. And really measurement happens in sort of an online atmosphere through an analytics platform. And that's very commonly Google Analytics or Adobe. There's lots of platforms out there that can help you sort of understand your data. But analytics is really the cornerstone of any good digital strategy, because as you can imagine, if you're not really measuring and monitoring what is success in your campaign, you could end up 3 months down the road and you have all your stakeholders misaligned, nobody agrees on what that campaign should have done, and then you're really back to the drawing board and you can't use that data going forward. So I would say analytics is really an enabler and it's a cornerstone of a digital strategy.
Great insight. So for a marketing or communications professional who wants to measure their social media presence or website engagement, what KPIs are really important and what vanity metrics could be ignored?
I really think when you're looking at monitoring or measuring your social media presence or website engagement, it's important to just understand, like, why do you actually have those platforms? So why are you on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter? And really, why does your website exist? What is it trying to facilitate from a content perspective or a call to action, trying to get the actual visitor to do something? And so when you really understand why that channel exists, you can start to define sort of the KPIs that are relevant and some of the KPIs that you really should ignore. And it's important to just think about sort of holistically what KPI makes sense. So if we just deal with website engagement, and we look at a KPI like sessions, and so you'll see in Google Analytics, most of you have probably seen a platform before with sessions. It's like sessions are important. Yes, they say, okay, somebody visited your website for a 30-minute period or under a 30-minute period. But if you're not paying attention to also sort of the bounce rate, or you're not paying attention to, is this a new visitor or a returning visitor, you can really miss the mark on your KPI. And so, for instance, if you have a KPI of sessions and month over month your sessions are going up, year over year your sessions are going up, that's great, everybody's happy. But if your bounce rate is increasing, so those sessions aren't actually translating to that goal you set, whether it's calls or filling out some form, or if it's now shifting towards you're not having a lot of return visitors, so maybe there's sort of a lack of engagement with your brand or that visitor's not coming back, you can kind of miss the mark. And so I guess rooted in all of this is just making sure you're paying attention to what does your website exist for. And so that will really drive what KPIs matter and just make sure it's contextually relevant to all those visitors who are on your site. And that also plays into social media. And we talk about kind of social media presence and measuring that. Very commonly when somebody built a Facebook page or started a Twitter account, it was just all about increasing your followers and how do I get kind of more people to like my page, because that's a signal to other people that our brand is important, it's being followed. And that's great, but it's sort of shifting into really that engagement piece. Like, are people engaging with those posts that we're sharing, whether that's on Twitter or Facebook? And I think that's actually a stronger metric for measuring social media, is really engagement. Because if you're driving up your likes, similar to kind of our website scenario, if you're driving up your likes but you're actually losing on engagement, perhaps the content is not as valuable to those to that audience you've built. And so it's just important to really focus on like what really matters and why are we doing this. And then you can come to some really interesting KPIs that make sense for your business.
So it all comes back to strategy.
Totally.
Why you're doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Great. So what would you suggest are the top 3 questions businesses should be asking of their data?
If you're sort of in a managerial role or you've been in marketing and you're either a business owner or an entrepreneur and you're saying like, I've got all this data, I've got customer records, I've got social media, I've got Google Analytics. So like what should this data tell me? I think one important piece is, can your data be proactive to you? So a lot of data is sort of retroactive. So you kind of analyze it, look at it, and you can look in the past and see, okay, that was a good 3 months or not. Can you actually have your data be proactive and say, hey, you should really be checking out what's going on with your brand or your website or your social media because something's happening. You're losing visitors, or there's been a big increase in your bounce rate or different metrics. So I really think it's important that data is informing proactively and telling you what's going on in the future. And then I think if it's helping you do that, you should also make sure your data is kind of telling you, like, why am I growing or why am I shrinking? Obviously, I think in business, and there's kind of old phrases, but if you're not growing, you're dying. And so you just really want to know, am I growing? Yes or no? And then how or why am I growing? And your data can do that. You can structure it and get it to be organized in sort of a healthy report. It could be bi-weekly, it could be monthly. You could do quarterly deep dives to get these types of answers. But really understanding, am I growing? Am I shrinking? And then making sure there's sort of proactive measures in place so you know ahead of time and can be less reactive once things happen.
Okay, so you alluded to this a little bit in our conversation today. Everyone knows that the digital marketing landscape is always changing. But then why do you think obtaining a university level specialization in digital marketing is beneficial to working in the industry?
Yeah, so here's what I've seen. A lot of colleges and universities alike, and a lot of candidates. So, I mean, I come from sort of agency world. I've done a lot of hiring recently for Reach. And it's actually hard to gauge what a candidate really knows. Even from my perspective, over 8 years in this, a lot of it is self-taught. And when you don't have access to sort of a specialization or certificate or anything, when it comes to digital marketing, it can be hard to know actually what candidates, when they apply to a job, what do they actually know? And so it's, I think, becoming more and more important getting a specialization. And then especially when it comes to jobs, now the potential employer knows actually all of the knowledge that you have, at least the baseline knowledge that you have in digital marketing. And so I kept finding in sort of interviews and all of this, they would have a great understanding of social, no idea what Google Analytics was or how that works. Or they'd have a great understanding of content marketing and they're a great writer, but they have no idea what SEO is. And so just getting that specialization is going to sort of fill all those gaps and then create that realistic expectation and alignment with the potential employer and just make you more effective. Because I find even for myself, I learn new stuff all the time. Yeah. And you'd be really surprised what you can do with it in your business. So I think from a specialization perspective, it's super important just to ensure that you fill the gaps in your knowledge and you're going to be the most effective you can in the industry.
That's great. feel like we've almost come full circle talking about how candidates might market their own brand and then how you're able to analyze that based on their background and educational experience. So thanks so much for coming in today and sharing all of your insight.
Super fun.
Yeah,
we
have Reach Digital's website up here on our presentation, so feel free to check out exactly what they do and to learn more about Josiah and his profile. And we will be opening up the floor to questions in just a few moments.
Great, thanks.
I hope everyone enjoyed that podcast with Josiah. And as I mentioned, he is one of our instructors here at CCE, and he teaches several of the digital marketing courses. So we're going to continue on. So what I want to do now is actually navigate to our website to show you where you can find information on the schedule and fees, as well as how to enroll. So if you just give me a second, I'm going to share my screen. So here is our website. So to get information on the digital marketing certificate, it's found under the Communication and Design tab. So going in here, you can get information, description of each of the courses. There's also, we now keep all of the course outlines that are available to you on our website. Next, we're going to go to the schedule and fees page. So here you can see the courses that will be offered for the spring term. That commences on May 7th. Enrollment is open now, so you're able to enroll in any of the spring courses. As I mentioned previously, DMK 101 is the foundational course. You can do other ones concurrently, but it is the prerequisite course. But you're able to enroll in 101, and then you could also enroll in 104 and or 105. That would be up to you. So we usually post our schedules for a full academic year. So right now it's showing the current academic year, and for program planning, we will have the next academic calendar up probably early summer. That should be up for courses commencing in the fall. Now, if you were going to enroll, I'm just actually going to go back to the home page. You can click on Enroll Today. And you would select the digital marketing program, the certificate, and just hit go at that point. So there you see, they're not in numerical order, they are in alpha. So that's why you see 101 at the bottom. It shows the courses that are currently available for enrollment. So if you were going to take 101, you just click on the online and you would select it here, and it would be added to your cart, similar to shopping online. Notes the course fee, $7.29, and please note that tuition is payable at the time of enrollment. Right? You can enroll up to the day before the course starts. However, I do recommend, especially if you're new to CCE, to enroll beforehand so that you can get set up with the necessary passwords and logins, and purchase any textbooks that are required to do that. You can also get information on the instructor. We post a bio on each instructor that's teaching. We will go back to the presentation. Okay, we'll continue on here. So before I turn my attention to any questions that have been posted, I just wanted to share this slide with you. That includes all of our contact information. So the website, if you have questions and you want to speak to someone over the phone, you can call the number on the screen and speak to one of our information specialists, and they can help you with program planning. Or you can email the direct program account to get information. If you think of a question after our session has ended, please reach out to us and we'd be happy to help you.